All it takes is one negative comment and that person feels suicidal. Today I will be talking about my bipolar story and the struggles I face with bipolar. One of the struggles is chronic depression. Like, I could go weeks feeling fine, normal, just a normal day. My mood's up and down, but it's still alright. And then suddenly something horrible happens. And for most people, they forget about it like after a week or like a couple of days. And if it's not that severe, like maybe a couple of hours. Me, it sticks with me for life. Could be anything. Death of a loved one, what someone said about me, rumours going on about me, the news, the media, what I've watched, what someone said. It sticks with me for life. I never forget. On the opposite end of the scale, I could be ecstatic. I could be high. Now people think, high, drugs, what, whoa. No, I mean mentally high, as in my mood. This is happy, and this is bipolar happy. See what I mean? Like, you go crazy when you're bipolar happy. You've got unlimited energy, you feel like you can run across the world, you're out of control, you come across as very, like, energetic, like, overly energetic, and people find that really weird and concerning. You say stuff which you don't mean, you say stuff that may or may not get you in trouble, and you can't control it. People say, oh, take control of your emotions, you have to act like this, you have to act like that. But with people who suffer from bipolar, or who struggle with bipolar, or just have bipolar, I don't want to put a label on saying, oh, you suffer from this because you're bipolar and like you're struggling bipolar. No, people who have the mental health condition will all tell you that they cannot control it. They rely on stuff like medication, or like mentors, mental health nurses, or therapy sessions. But as bipolar people, we cannot control our mood. It's up and down, left and right, side to side. It's all over. 1 minute we're feeling happy, the next we're feeling sad, the next we're feeling angry, the next we're feeling depressed, the next we're feeling excited, the next we feel bored. That's how bipolar works, and you cannot get rid of it. One of the things I'm struggling with is the medication. Now, when I got sent to the MH because I had a psychotic episode, I won't go into detail about it because it's very personal. Let's just say an MH is a mental health hospital. I'm not going to say how long I was there for. I'm not going to say the reason why I was there. But something happened which required me to go there. And it was deep. These organisations, I like to call them, like the people who are in charge of the mental health hospital, the doctors, the nurses, they were giving me all kinds of drugs, like, to try and, like, stabilise my mood. And eventually they found the drugs that work, but I was taking unknown substances. And if I declined, I would get punished for it. So, like, one time I really didn't want to take it, and I went wild, bro. I was, like, getting quite violent in that place. And I was, like, attacking staff members, and they restrained me. And I got restrained, and let's just say a needle went into me, basically, which made me dizzy and sleepy, and I passed out. That is just mental if you think about it. The thing is, all these, like, governments, all these societies, all these organisations, they will just get these, like, people with bipolar, and they think the best solution is to chuck them in a place where they feel trapped and where they feel insecure, and they just feel horrible, they have no freedom, and they just say, stay there until you get better. I don't think this approach works. I think with people who have suffered, like, drastically, or have had a psychotic episode, I don't think they should be locked away. I think they should just be, like, staying at home, or, like, going out to places, obviously, like, with an accompanied person, because if they're out of control, they need someone to control them. but like they should do things that they enjoy and love, like maybe sports. I don't play video games, but in this case scenario, maybe a video game won't be a bad idea. Like something they enjoy, like something pleasing, like for pleasure. Like you can't even. This isn't even a health thing. Like you could say, oh, eat healthy, go on a run, exercise. But with bipolar, you might have to go like the opposite route. You might have to do something when you've just had a psychotic episode. The best solution is to do something that you desire, like something pleasurable, good or bad. The worst part about having bipolar is what other people say. For me, it's like not a medication. Yeah, I struggle with the medication because the negative effects on the medication is like weight gain, it makes you tired, sleepy. Like my medication is aripiprazole. For me, like makes me sleep. So when I take it, I'm out, and then I struggle to wake up in the morning. I made a video on why I can't wake up, and I talked about that medication. But like I said before, you have to like stick to the desires. Oh no, the worst part about bipolar is what other ignorant people say. They say, of course you can control your emotions, and like schools and work, they expect everyone to be like programmed the same. They don't understand what people like us have to suffer through. They don't understand that we are different and we can't just like follow the rules like everyone else. We are not conditioned like robots. We are not conditioned like little factory workers. We have to have our freedom, we have to have our choice, and we have to have our say. If we can't focus, they just say we're misbehaved. But we're not misbehaved, we're probably suffering from some trauma, or we want to be like outside, playing, and like we want to learn in our own way. But the school system like makes you learn from memory instead of creativity, and they don't let us think for ourselves. We're just programmed to memorize, and then we do the test, and then we forget it all, and then they say, oh, you've got to memorize this for the test, and then you don't retain any information, you just forget it the next day because it's not needed anymore, which is stupid. Ignorant people will just say, it's your fault you have bipolar. You can control it. There's nothing wrong with you. And to that I say, go learn about the mental health condition. Go learn it. Talk to someone who has it. They'll tell their story. Okay? It affects relationships with family. It affects friends. It affects relationship with strangers. Well, maybe not relationships with strangers, but like how you come across with strangers. Sometimes you get really nervous, and sometimes you get overly excited, and you come across as this weird person, and no one understands how you feel. No one can like properly accept you for who you are, because they get different variations of you that whenever they see you. Sometimes they get the nice version of you, sometimes they get the stubborn version of you, sometimes they get the angry version of you, or the depressed version of you, or the excited version of you, or the elated version of you. They don't get one person, they get in a bunch of different personalities, all put into one frame. My advice to anyone who has bipolar, don't change for anyone. Don't try to fit into society. At the end of the day, you are special. Don't think badly about yourself. Don't say, oh, I just suck because I have bipolar. And this is ironic because the title is Why I Hate Having Bipolar. But I'll be honest with you, I would lie. I did it for, this is just, for views, basically. This is just to get clicks. And you're probably thinking the credibility of this person, which is me, is, probably not very good, but I had to make the video clickbaity, but, I know, I hate having bipolar sometimes. Not all the time, sometimes. When I'm on a high, I feel, really good, I've got so much energy. But, I'm on about, the negative sides of bipolar, the stuff about wanting to end your own life, the stuff about, you get other organisations who claim they're helping. Sometimes they do help, but, most of the times, they're very annoying, and they get on your nerves, and you just want to be left alone, peacefully, in your room, and, people constantly asking, are you okay, are you okay? People constantly asking, have you been taking your medication? But yeah, sometimes bipolar can get very difficult. For me at least. So if you're watching this, whether you have bipolar or not, I just want you guys to be aware of the horrible things that people with bipolar suffer through. Like the constant mood swings, the lack of energy, and where you have too much energy, the abundance of energy. I hope you'd enjoy this video. Let me know in the comments any issues I missed about people who have bipolar, or like if you have bipolar, let me know your experience with the mental health condition. Goodbye.